Welcome to Of Course She Did, a Vancouver Island Knitters podcast, where we chat about craft, connection, and our unique coastal community. We're four friends who have decided to knit boldly, make mistakes proudly, and finish projects eventually.
Eventually.
Thank you for joining us. Today, we are so excited. Jody.
We have Chantal from Knititude. And I'm not even going to try and say your wonderful last name because I'll butcher it.
Oh, Miyagashima. It's a doozy.
Miyagashima. See, when you say it, it sounds super easy.
Yeah. Oh, my maiden name was Dix, so you get away from that real quick. You see any last name and you're like, I will take it. Yep. Yes, please.
Yeah. Perfect. Japanese, we're in.
So Jody introduced me first to your work, and then we got to meet you. But Jody, do you want to give a little bit of background and
of how I stalk Chantal? I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I'm here for stalking. I don't mind.
Yeah, as long as it increases. No, I'm just kidding. Increases followership. I think the thing that makes me love you, besides your skill, your simplicity of patterns, your great pink hair, is that you quit a job to do this full time. And anybody who takes that astoundingly brave leap is such a goddess. And I am so jealous of that. As I'm running away from my knitting job going, I'm so done doing this. I wish that I could do that, but
I love how you confuse nursing job with knitting job.
Yeah, I was like,
I didn't confuse them. Did I?
Just wishful thinking. It was a Freudian slip.
It was a Freudian. As I left my nursing job, going to what I wish was my real job. So yeah, I think that's part of what really draws me to follow you. Other than I totally knit your wedding shawl for my daughter's wedding, and then a prototype for myself. So.
And three of us. So I knit one in my souvenir Welsh yarn that is actually really hot now that I'm all excited. And
I was like, you're wearing one right now.
That's it.
And Tanya knit one too. So just the simplicity of it makes it a great knit when you need a break. We all have kind of high stress jobs and so it's been lovely so as soon as Jody found out that you were going to be in town in Victoria, BC, being hosted by our local yarn store Beehive, she was like, "We're going."
I did.
So, and you
Who's
were there.
Coming?
Yeah. So you were there, and you were there promoting your new book. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so my book is called Sweater Success. I have it in my hands right now. It is a long, lengthy title, which is Sweater Success from Cast On and Closet, Learn to Fearlessly Knit Pullovers and Cardigans. And I remember when I was talking to my editor, and she was like, this is your title. And I was like, that's very long. But it makes the most sense. But essentially, it's all the things that you wish that you knew before you started either knitting sweaters for the first time, or that you just wish that you knew before knitting garments. Because I think that especially like as knitters, it's really hard to be able to find other knitters that are like in the same area as you. And if you don't have a knit night around you, sometimes it's hard to be able to like gather all of this knowledge that is kind of passed down by so many people. And I wanted to essentially create a book that would be for that person, that it's like, oh, if you don't know what blocking is, if you don't know what gauge is, if you don't know like what ease is, how to be able to take your own measurements, like how to be able to make modifications. Essentially, my book is like all the things that you would want to know in advance before you start, so that you can start making like the correct and best decisions for your project before you even cast on.
Like
because
knitting
like
101.
101, because most mistakes happen in a garment before you even cast on.
Yeah.
I love that. It's true.
So I only flipped through it when Jody got it. But is it instructions that would also help in kind of pattern creation, or?
It's all the things that, like, as a designer, these are the things that I've had to learn, being like, oh, if I'm going to be, it has a whole entire section on yarn subbing, which I love yarn subbing. But it scares a lot of people. But it's like all the things that I usually do when I'm like actually starting to design, being like, okay, if I'm going to use this fiber over this fiber, what is that going to create? So while it doesn't exactly teach you how to design, it teaches you how to get into the mindset of the designer when they're actually making that pattern. So it's like, well, if they're making a raglan let's hope that they're probably making it with like a wool, because we know that wool has more stability, and like raglans don't have as much stability because they don't have shoulder seams. Like it tells you all the things that you would kind of want to know and dig into a designer's brain before you end up casting on.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to read it cover to cover when we do.
It's got 6 patterns in it too. They're all
Nice.
like beginner friendly. My whole entire shtick is beginner friendly patterns that fit. So yeah,
Yeah.
you
And
can
it's
try
it's
to
so valuable because if you do choose a different yarn, then you completely change the look of the garment. And that's, you can start with this basic that you've created in your book, and then sky's the limit.
Yeah, like you and I could both make the exact same pattern, get the exact same gauge. You make it with wool and I make it with cotton. Completely different look and
Right.
outcome.
Well, we often do that. We'll pick the same
Yeah.
pattern and then we'll all
Our
have
knitting
different-
group has done that twice now. We have 2 patterns. And every single 3, we did the blocko, we did the Sunday cardigan.
And
we
one
did
of these.
And that one, and we also most of
Sabai.
us did a sabai and a t-shirt. And it is all different every time.
Yeah.
And we're all different body shapes, so it's
Yeah, it's really fun. So I love that gives a little bit more of the information to make more informed choices. I'm excited about that.
Because
Very
like
excited.
knitting takes forever. Let's be totally fucking serious. It's like
it's a
we're gonna make
commitment.
something, like we're gonna make sure it fits. We're gonna make sure that we actually enjoy it instead of it just like sitting and collecting dust in the back, which is sad.
I
Yeah.
I want to go back to something you said, because I think it's like we have a joke that in every interview there's a bumper sticker or a t-shirt, a knitting t-shirt, and you just said most mistakes in knitting happen before you even cast on.
Is it
Yeah.
choosing to knit? That's how I feel sometimes, but
Tell
But
me
it's
a
also
little.
like the amount of like my other, I guess you could call it bumper sticker, is if you decide to not do a gauge swatch, technically you're still doing a gauge swatch. It's just your full sweater.
It's just your whole sweater.
Yeah.
You can choose
Yeah.
to make the biggest gauge swatch of all life if that's what you prefer.
I have done that.
Yes.
Yes,
We all
I've done
have.
that.
We all have.
Yeah, because you think it'll be fine. And
It'll be
it's
fine.
not
It's only a few stitches.
Yeah.
So when you say the mistakes happen before you cast on, you're referring to gauge swatches and yarn choice and pattern choice for your own body, or what you are imagining. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, and also measuring yourself. I think there's so many people that are like, "Oh, my bust size is this because it has a cup size." And it's like, no, 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 no. Like if you're not taking your actual like physical measurements, and you're not like taking a peek into like standardized sizes where you're like, "Oh, I do have more narrow shoulders. Maybe I should be taking my size from my upper bust instead of my full bust." Like there's so many different
Right.
things that can make or break how your sweater is going to turn out.
As somebody who I have a small frame, but a big boobs. And so I'm always knitting the bigger size to fit those, but then it doesn't fit anywhere else. So I'm going to read your section on how to measure myself, because it definitely, if I measure my full bust size, then I'm a large or an extra large. But if I measure my rib cage, then I'm a small or a medium at best. So
And then
you're
you can also
welcome.
learn how to make modifications off of it.
Hate
Like
it.
if you're making a bottom up drop shoulder and you're like, okay, I find that my bust is larger and I have a more like narrow shoulders, I'll be able to do a tailored drop shoulder, and I can eliminate those stitches so that it fits better on my shoulders. So it fits in my boobs and in my top.
And ultimately you end up with a garment you're going to wear instead of going, I don't love the way that one fits. I'm going to leave that one in the back of the closet.
Yeah, you give it to someone that you don't like.
I've done that too.
Non-knit worthy human. Here you are.
Yeah.
So how would you speak to then people that are terrified of math, like me, when it comes to figuring out measurements versus stitches, and like, is there a good guideline that you kind of go by, or
It is. Yeah, I like to always remind people that like I didn't graduate grade 12 math, and my whole entire job as a designer is math. Like I am not the most brilliant person in the world, but like it's really, really basic math where you're like, okay, if I realize that I want to take an inch and my gauge swatch is 16 stitches per 4 inches, it means that an inch worth of fabric is 4 stitches. At some point over however many rows, as I'm like holding up a measurement where I'm like, over like 4 inches, I want to decrease an inch. You're just decreasing by 4 stitches. And like, it's a lot of trial and error, but I think it's like if you're terrified of math, it's not hard math. It's really, really simple math.
Mhm.
It's just knowing where the points are in your body to be able to figure out how to be able to make those adjustments and where.
I can see
Amazing.
this as being very body positive, just to get to know
Yeah.
your own body. And there's like a little bit of acceptance in there, and how to make it look the way you feel most comfortable and feel good. Like I kind of dig this because I'm the largest out of
Yeah.
the four of us. Right. So
You and
yeah.
I are the same.
No, no, no.
No,
So I
it
can
did.
see how then this kind of is like, hey, this is really inclusive. And
Well, yeah, because like that's the advantage of knitting. Like it's like
Oh, you
is you
froze.
can make things for
There.
your own body. It's not as if you're just like cutting once and then praying God that it was right. And if you cut the wrong fabric, like you can rip out, you can redo it. I do always say that when it comes to, and there's a specific part in my like taking your measurements chapter where it specifically says like this can be a really triggering thing to take your measurements, especially because like
Yeah.
fast fashion and the beauty industry just like putting and pouring so much bullshit, especially on women and our
Yeah.
bodies. It can be really triggering to look at those measurements and look at sizes because we've gotten this like idea that certain sizes are better than other certain sizes or shapes, which is again bullshit. But being able to figure out what your measurements are to be able to use those only helps you with a better sweater fit. And
yeah,
like making
It-
your own sweater, I don't know, that's a nice big F you
I
it's
think
to
so.
accepting your own
standard.
body, and then if you're going to spend 100 hours making a sweater, it should fit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the obscene amount of money that I spend on yarn.
the 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 slow fashion industry, which I consider all knitters, God, I did it again, all knitters to be part of, I think is just, I got to get myself out of that other brain and into this brain. It's like, it's like you just said, it's the ultimate fuck you to the fashion
Yeah.
industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I find there are trends in fashion within the knitting community. Yes.
Oh
Like
yeah.
depending on the person that is most popular at any given moment or at the top of the Ravelry heap is who is.
Everyone has made a Sophie scarf. Like, my God, those have a chokehold on us.
Mm-hmm.
I made the three ladies one each for Christmas. And then when we were up at Mount Washington and Ingrid had hers on and somebody walked by and went, "Oh, that's a nice Sophie scarf." Like
I know,
random
everyone
out
knows
of
about it. I want to do the hood. The hood looks so cute.
It really does. Do you find that you get recognized, or you're wearing something of your own and it gets
Oh,
recognized?
it's a sweater scarf for me. Like that's like
That's
I
your
feel like
iconic piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's so funny because like technically like I've been designing since 2016
Mm-hmm.
and I made my first sweater scarf I think in 2019. I had a girlfriend at Knit Night. She came and she showed me this like video of this beautiful woman in like Paris, France, who knows, grabbing like having a cup of coffee and she was like, "You should make a knit version of this. This would be so pretty." Um and my first one, like it was okay. It was like it wasn't like a massive like boom for like a sale. And then I ended up having a couple of girlfriends being like, "Hey, PS, you should totally do that with like a wedding dress. You should take videos with that with a
Yeah.
wedding dress because it would be really pretty. And then people don't need to wear like fur stoles, which are kind of gross. Sorry if you like fur stoles.
Nobody does that anymore.
But like, and then I honestly had like I randomly it was in the middle of COVID or the start of COVID, and I had another sweater scarf coming out. And I looked outside and there was these massive snowflakes. And I was like, oh my God, get outside. And I yelled to my husband, Todd, and I was like, get me in my wedding dress. Went outside, took photos, and they went viral. And that's what I am probably known from now. Like, it's like, oh, you're the sweater scarf girl.
Yeah.
Or you're the purple haired girl in a wedding dress. Like, that is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what I am most known for.
So I have a question about that. So you are very, at least for me, it's very easy to go, Chantal from Knititude, the one with the pink hair or the one with the purple hair.
Yeah.
So then do you feel like a pressure to keep your hair color, or do you give a flying shit?
Yes and no. It's so funny because like technically I dip dyed my hair for the first time in purple in 2014. And now it's just become like so synonymous with myself, but also I can't imagine my hair not being purple.
Ah,
Like it's been now purple for almost 12 years. Every once in a while I'll go like blue. Every once in a while I'll go pink. But yeah, I'm just like so accustomed to it. So yeah, like it's definitely become like a part of my brand, but also just like if I went to brown, like do you see these roots right now? These look horrible. I'm like, I look so normal.
It does. It is always beautiful too. It's, I don't know. I love it. I love it.
Like you talk about kind of that progressing of becoming the designer, but I'm really curious kind of about your knitting origin story. When did you learn how to knit? How did you learn how to knit?
Yeah, I feel like people have such a beautiful like origin story being like my grandmother taught me how to do this, but no, not at all. I Pinterest was in like its heyday. And every basic bitch had their like circle scarves and long extensions and Ugg boots. And I was like, that's just what I want to be for the rest of my life. And I figured I was like, well, we were broke honestly at the moment, and I was like, I can't afford to be able to get a circle scarf. I'm just gonna see if I can make one. And I picked up a YouTube tutorial by another knitter named Chantal as well, funny enough. And I learned how to knit, and technically it was a ribbed scarf, and I did not understand the difference between a knit and a purl, and I gave up on purling. And I just started knitting, and then I made garter stitch scarves for a year. So like whenever people are like, oh man, I'm just like not progressing with my knitting skills. And I'm like, guys, I did knit stitch for an entire year and literally started a business before I learned how to purl.
Brave
Like,
or
Wow.
stupid, we're not sure.
yeah, like I legit,
Amazing.
like I had girlfriends being like, I love those scarves. And I was like, thanks. Like, I can make you one. And they were like, great. And I was like, but it's $40, which like in retrospect, I was like knitting on 5 millimeter needles. And like these things were taking me 8 hours, if not more, to be able to create. And then I started Knititude, and then I just started selling and then just like playing with my own designs. Funny enough, for being a designer, I hate reading patterns. Like I really dislike them.
Oh wow.
Um, and mainly it's because like I feel like it's like a whole other language. Like I feel like I'm reading fucking Klingon. Like it's like I just it's so difficult reading patterns if you don't know what you're looking for. So I just started making my own stuff and then selling them in markets. And then some of those things are like some of my first patterns where I was like, I'm just gonna write them down. And then I had a girlfriend be like, you know, you can sell those, right? And I was like, huh? She was like, you know about Ravelry, right? And I was like, huh? Like, no clue. So yeah, like it
That's
just like
amazing.
went wild
Yeah.
from like knitting garter stitch scarves in 2014 to like designing my first and like putting out my first pattern in fall of 2016.
And
It's
here
been a
you are
wild.
10 years later, like just
You're living
amazing.
Jody's
You're living my
dream.
dream. Yeah. You know what? I never really wanted to be a designer. I wanted to have a yarn store, but I also have a really good career that I enjoy. So it's tricky
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
I
to
just
pick.
went full time with knitting, like with knitting. Technically, I'm coming up on a year in March, and it is wild.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How far afield has it taken you? Like, where have you been? What's been kind of the highlights of that last year?
Oh my God. Well, the book came out, which meant that I got to do a book tour, which meant I got to see all of you guys. So I went to Victoria and Vancouver. We went to Montreal, which it was freezing and it was minus 25 and a minus 25 and that kind of wet cold. Oh my
Oh,
God. I live in Alberta and hell no, never more. Like I would rather not.
totally
But other
different.
than that, it's just been like, it's been a whole new learning curve for myself because my husband is a stay-at-home house husband. He takes care of me. He does like run a hockey league every single like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but the majority of like the income is me. So I used to come from an advertising background. If we put it into like if you've watched Mad Men, I worked my way up from Peggy to Don Draper is the easiest way to put it.
Ooh.
I know,
Never
very
seen it.
fancy. I had a really high title, like worked in advertising for a long, long, long time. Um, and then to have that income and then my Knititude income to then only have Knititude has been like, it's very
Shocking.
stressful and
Yeah.
a game changer. Um, but it's also been really, really freeing. Like I think I'm like now almost a year in, which sounds ridiculous. Like I feel like when you start a new job, even though I've had this job for since 2014, like starting it and having to do it full time has has been like I'm finally getting to grips of like what I do every single day or what I do every single week. And each week is different, but it's like I finally have got a foot in the ground. But those first 4 months, Jesus fucking Christ.
Terrifying. I can't even imagine.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Especially if Todd is the stay home guy, then it's doubly scary because you're responsible for both of you.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
He's wonderful.
I'm
very lucky. Like we have a very like opposite relationship, being that I am the person who works, and like he cooks, he cleans, he does the laundry. And we've been in our house for almost 3 years now, and I still don't know how to do the like washing machine for clothes.
I think that would be my husband Matt's dream. You have that, Jody. You have a house husband.
I do have a house husband. He retired from Microsoft quite early, so yeah. He doesn't do everything, but he does most of it. It's true.
Yeah, and everyone's always like, Todd, do you need a job? And he's like, I have a job. My job is Chantal. And I'm like, sweet baby angel.
Come here.
Well, and I mean, he got to travel with you to Victoria. So did he go on your whole book tour? You guys got to do that together?
Yeah. We are like one of those like oddly, very, very madly in love couples that we've been together since 2009, at the very beginning. And I think we have only been away from each other. God, this is so embarrassing. I think we've only been away from each other. The longest was when I had my internship in 2010 for school, and that was a month. But other than that, the longest that we've gone away from each other is like a week.
And
we
now
just really like each other.
Yeah,
that's
very, very blessed.
Yeah.
Now he's taking pictures as well, right? He did the pictures for Sweater Success.
Yeah, so he does. He technically owns like half the corporation, so half of Knititude, but his main jobs are to keep me well fed. But he takes all my photos, as well as he does like some of the admin stuff on the background. But for the majority, Todd is just laissez-faire. He just makes sure that when he comes in from hockey, he's like, "How you doing? How's your day? Do you need a hug?"
Oh, that's lovely.
That's great. And so like I've seen like on Instagram, he's got his own sweater. So he wears a lot of your stuff. I know I only have boys in my family. None of the boys want stuff I've knit. So
I wish. So Todd actually, the reason why I started making a men's collection, so about 5 years ago, I decided to make him one sweater a year because he started complaining. He was like, I just don't have a sweater. This is like so unfair. You only make things for yourself. I was like, I can make you one sweater a year, to which he never wears them because he is way too hot.
Yep, that's my husband as well. Too hot. Can't.
Yeah. And I've tried making them in like things that would be breathable. No, he has things designed specifically for his body that he like, we come up with the designs together. Like I always have like an idea, but I always like consult him. I'm like, what is it? Like, what kind of vibe are you thinking for this next sweater? Or like, do you want a cardigan? Do you want like a top down? Do you want a raglan? What do you want? But no, I wish he wore them, but he certainly does not.
Yeah. Although now they've started to ask for blankets for when they're playing video games, and it's like
boring.
Okay, well,
I have never made a blanket. Have you, Chantal, made a blanket?
I've made multiple. I used to sell them.
Oh wow.
Right.
I don't know how could you charge enough?
I didn't. The answer is I didn't.
20 millimeter needles and triple
I've made like maybe for ourselves. I'm making a blanket right now actually, and they take so long.
Oh, they're so boring.
I love making blankets.
I shouldn't say it. I've never made one. So
every baby in my life gets their own baby blanket that usually fits a single bed.
Cute.
Just because then they can have it forever.
Any new babies, I make them the grandpa cardigan. And
me too.
Thing, and it also is so much faster than a baby blanket. And like, granted, they won't use it as often, but god damn it, it's cute.
I was the kid that carried around their blanket for an obscene amount of time. So
I made one for a little boy named Raven, and I embroidered a little raven on the pocket of the grandpa cardigan. He's now 8, and his mom just texted me last week and said, "There's holes in it. There's been a moth." I'm like, I can't fix it. I'm sorry. She picks up shows me a picture. No,
Oh,
sorry,
sad.
can't fix that.
Yeah, and you guys are in like a very wet climate, so you guys have to deal with moss. I don't have any moss here in Calgary because it's
Because they all
dry.
die in the winter
Yeah.
time.
I don't know. I don't know where do moths not live in the winter?
No,
Like,
they
do
go
they
But
into
not?
there's like certain
hibernation.
moths that like the ones that eat clothes are like a certain type of moth.
Yeah,
And like
Oh,
those are not in dry climates. They're mainly in wet.
oh, I didn't know
yeah.
that.
That's why there's
Yeah.
lavender and rosemary in between in
Yeah, and cedar
everyone's.
like things.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. It's the smells they don't like that.
Yeah.
How do you keep everything fresh? Like, how do you just like come up with a new pattern? Do you follow certain fashion trends, or does it just an idea that pops into your head, or what do you get your fuel from?
It's the things that I look in my closet and I go, damn it, I don't have one of those. Like, and I just like I like creating things for like pockets and gaps in my wardrobe. Todd and I will every once in a while just go for like an inspo date, which will like go and we'll try and like go shopping. I'll take photos of things that I like really like. I just like following fashion by itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that like I am a big Pinterest person who loves just making outfits together. Like you remember those like cutouts that you used to be able to like they were paper cutouts and that you would put them on like dolls?
Yep.
Yep,
Like that
yep.
was my jam. So I don't know. I've always just liked creating things. And then I always think that like um a lot of my stuff is like really, really classic, to be totally honest. Like I want things that
Agreed.
are timeless. And I think I get that from my mom. My mom is like, she looks like she walked out of a fucking like Banana Republic. Like she is so well put together all
uh,
the time. She has like the most, she just like comes out being like, she has dogs, but never has a speck of dog hair on her. Like comes over with like this beautiful, like black pea coat that has like gorgeous framing. Like I just, yeah, I think I want to be my mom.
Aw.
Aw. My daughter's like
Don't
that.
tell her that. She's
She's,
like, got a big head.
yeah. My daughter's very much, very fashion forward, and always looks, not always clothes that I would choose, but she always looks gorgeous. And I always have the dog hair. Always. I always look like a schmoz. She said to me, "Why do you always wear athletic clothing?" And I'm like, I'm not wearing, okay, sort of. But, we can't all be perfect. So,
Yeah.
Do you knit exclusively your own stuff, or do you have favorite designers that you make
oh, good
some of their stuff?
question.
Oh my God. So I find that I usually like I probably knit another designer's knits like like probably twice a year. My favorite, her name is Joan Ho from Joe Knitwear. She is based in Toronto. That that woman has the most brilliant mindset when it comes to construction.
Mm-hmm.
I love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. I always know that whatever she puts out, it's gonna fit no matter what. So yeah, Joan Ho is probably my top favorite. I always have a mariner's cap on my needles, which is from Two of Wands. Alexi is in New York, and I met her back in like 2019. She's actually the reason why I started designing. Like, I came up with my first design, which is called the bum hugger, which is just a bolero. It's the easiest way to, and I thought it would be funny because it hugs your butt. And I remember reaching out to her and we like chatted back and forth. This was probably back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, can you just like take a look at this pattern? Like I know that we chat every once in a while, but can you tell me if it sucks? And she was like, you need a gauge. And I was like, oh, my bad. I definitely do need to put that in there. Like she's wonderful. So I love Alexi from Two of Wands. Like she's
Nice.
I love how
Straight to the
you've
point.
and found a community that's collaborative and supportive. That
yeah.
that you're happy to make other people's knits, and they're like it doesn't sound like a cutthroat kind of
No,
competitive.
no. Like as much as I like railed about saying that I didn't like reading patterns, like it's like the way that every single person writes, like every designer writes their patterns, each one has like their own little specialty. Like I'm really well known for like having explainers and like additional things in my patterns that are like, okay, you're about to like pick up the sleeves, like the stitches for the sleeves at this point. You're going to pick them up in this ratio. When other designers don't do that, like
Yeah.
my
Mm-hmm.
stuff has a tendency to be pretty easy to read and pretty easy to understand, but the way that other people like create things, like Sabina from Cadre is also fantastic. just seeing how people write is you learn. Like as a designer, I'm constantly learning from other people.
Well, and we like, because if
Yeah.
anybody has any questions, we go to our guru, Jody. So like, and now with like the four of us each reading patterns and you know, some of them are not as
Some of them are shit.
They're
some
total
yeah.
shit. Tanya just tried to make a scarf and it didn't even tell her to purl every other row. Like it presumed a lot, the pattern. It presumed that you understood that when you are reading a chart, it is right side and that on the left side or the wrong side, you should purl. And Tanya didn't know that. And the pattern didn't tell her that. And so she was doing the rows twice and ripped
and then couldn't understand why
ripped her scarf
stitches
out
didn't-
14 times and was like, fuck this. I'm like, but
Yeah.
honey, you need to purl. No, I don't. Okay. Yes, you do.
But it's also wild because, like, I think you're watching so many pattern designers that are now like shifting. Now that I think that patterns are digital and not just like printed, I think it's like you're seeing designers give a lot more information instead of things just being bare
Yes.
bones.
Yes.
But then you still have like you have the petite knits that they're like culturally they are just bare bones patterns. They mean that if you know how to knit, you
They're
should be able to
fine.
make these patterns.
Yep.
And you are having to make those like assumptions.
They're also
But I
quite designed small, quite small.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knit one for my mom, but my mom's tiny, so it's fine. But
Yeah.
I'm a newbie. Like when I first met Jody, she's like, "Do you know this designer?" No. Oh, what about this designer? No. Like I didn't know like there was like this celebrity to certain, and now, you know, that I'm on the Instagram and you see like these who I think now they're famous people, right? So
Oh, you just need to see the Andrea Mowry's at Rhinebeck, where you're like, that entire hill is Andrea Mowry. I'm just gonna get out of here. I can't. There's so many people here that are like
Right.
specifically meeting. Like,
Yeah,
she's got a massive fan base.
she really does.
Yeah.
She really does. And I think about that. I go, why? What is it that makes her so fantastic? Because lots and lots of designers are out there making great patterns, including yourself. So what is it about her that makes her such a freaking rock star?
It's just like, I think there's certain things that like to me, the first time that I saw Andrea Mowry was your Find Your Fade shawl.
Yeah.
And it went so viral. And then also on top of it, not only was it viral because it was a great pattern, but it was also like so many yarn stores were able to sell yarn using it because it was hand-dyed yarn.
Yes.
And like
Yeah.
it used a bunch of yarn.
A ton.
And you could just like see this making money for so many people. And like that's the first time that I ever heard of Andrea Mowry. And I remember looking at her projects on Ravelry and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, what? How much money have you made? Like, I'm like, if I just take what you used to sell your patterns for and just go by projects alone, and not every single person makes projects, you're like, that's
she's making some money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, let me just
But we all get a piece of the pie, right? It's I also think it's because she's thin, she's beautiful, she's got interesting tattoos. Like there's a lot about her that speaks to the current culture that's popular.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. You know, if she was a fat middle-aged woman like me with only one tattoo and I still wrote the same pattern she does, no way no one's knitting ooey gooey for Rhinebeck if it's me. I do think that we are still, despite how slow fashion is taking over and how knitting has become such a hobby, I do still think we're very much the skinny perfect person gets the money, gets the beautiful people get the attention.
Or is it it's marketing?
Maybe.
I don't know though, because it's also like I think of like Jack Sislak, like got really, really big talking about like size inclusivity. I think of Jessie Maid, where I'm like,
yeah, Jessie Maid.
Sometimes she's on like the top of Ravelry and she doesn't promote shit on her like Instagram. Like, I don't know.
So maybe not always, huh?
I like there are outliers, but I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that I don't resent her. She deserves every respect that she gets. Writing patterns takes an enormous amount of effort and making them sized up, and it's a lot of time and effort. And I just sometimes think about that. Like there's still that shallow piece in all of us, I guess.
Oh yeah,
You know what I've
100%.
started? You know what I started noticing
100%.
Yeah.
is and I wouldn't be able to name anybody because I don't have a memory for stuff like that. But when the designer gets their test knit back and it's knit by all of these different women, like in all of the sizes, and that I love flipping through those photos.
Yes, me too.
That is my absolute
Wow.
favorite because then you can see yourself in one of them.
Exactly.
Instead of just this is the size 0 designer or whatever.
This is petiteness, who is the side of my thumb, and
to be able to go, oh, like that would look good on me. I love and then also seeing how everybody is knitting the same thing, but they've made it their own with their own color, and like
it's such a great feature of Ravelry to be able to do that.
Yeah, having projects.
Do you, when you're having test knitters, do you look for size inclusivity? So you look for people who are doing all the sizes of your pattern, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So my patterns are extra small to 5X. And I started going to like if you look at all my patterns, when I first started, I was like, I'm only going to make medium. And then I went small, medium, large, and then small, medium, extra large, small, medium, 2A, like all the way to 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X. And I think I got very lucky when I look back, being that I had people more lenient, being able to like give me that time and space to be able to learn, because the amount of like learning that you have to do to like not just make a square bigger is the easiest way to put it, has taken a lot. And I still feel like every single design that I have tested, I always make adjustments. Like even my last one, the Cosmo Cardi, I made a mistake in it. I made a mistake grading it. And I wouldn't have found that out if I wouldn't have gotten that from my testers. So like to me,
incredibly
I find
valuable.
And PS, like if you're worried about it being a mistake, don't worry, it's fixed in the pattern. But like, I feel like I've been constantly learning, and I also think that I've learned so much from my plus size testers, because me as a person who has I'm a medium on the bust, extra large on the bottom, I am doing straight sides. Like I know my body, but I don't know other bodies that are smaller or bigger than mine. So being able to get that information back from them has been really, really helpful. And I'm in the same boat as you. Like I love being able to like check a new pattern and being like, yeah, but does it look as good as on the 5X as it does on the extra small? Because that is the telltale factor of that pattern.
Where's the person with the big boobs? That's the one I want to look at.
Well, and because it's exponentially a larger investment financially as well as time for 5X.
Good point.
Right? Like,
and yarn.
That financially, that's what I was thinking. I mean, we out of the 4 of us, there's a small, medium, large, and an extra large, or, you know, however that usually fits. But, you know, and they go, Erin, why are you buying so much yarn? And I'm like, I'm fucking 4 times larger than you are.
Like, because I have more stitches.
Yeah.
And I have more fabric.
Rub it in.
We love all of you.
There's a lot to love.
What is I don't want you to give your secrets away at all, but when you're designing something, what are the things that need to be different for the extra small versus the 5X?
Okay, so we already kind of talked about it, but boobs versus shoulders.
Yes.
Like that is a massive difference. And then I also think I remember the exact same moment that I was like, oh, you're an idiot, Chantal, is necklines. Like a person who is a medium, me of 5X does not have 5 times the size of my neck. And if I just did the neckline of like just going straight up and expecting that it was 5 times, like the sweater would be hanging off of your shoulders.
I can hear your eureka moment, because I just had the same thing going, oh, or the length of the sleeve, right? But but someone who has a more generous body is going to fill it out in their arms more, and so maybe that shortens it up a bit. So you do have to adjust the length, but not all that much, because not in the same way you have to adjust.
Yes.
And then everybody's,
I always say like bust, shoulders, necklines, upper arm bicep, and wrists. Because the same thing for like wrists is that a person who is a 5X does not have an extremely larger wrist than a person who is a medium. Like it's just you have to pay attention, and you don't want to create bell sleeves on a person that it's supposed to be a tight fitting sleeve.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be flattering on them either.
But this is going to be
Yeah.
so good. I'm glad you're asking these questions because I have this sweater that my grand knit from my father when he was 16. And who knows if she used a pattern or where she got it from. But I'm going to make my own pattern so I can make my teenagers the same sweater.
Yeah.
I just love that.
So this is good to know because I'm thinking, well, you just add 10 to everything, multiply everything by 2, and
You need to read.
No,
I will read.
Chantal's
I'm going to need to read Chantal's book.
like, you
That's
need to
gonna
read
really
Chantal's
help.
book, and she talks about, there's an entire chapter on craft yarn council standards.
Yeah.
And it has
Yeah.
it in there where it's like, it tells you the average bust size for each size, and then the shapes according to them. So in other
Yeah.
words, like the difference between a small versus a 5X in shoulder, like shoulder span, is 2.5 inches. But a bust size between a 20 or a 30 versus a 62 is a 32-inch difference.
Yeah.
So like
Crazy.
it's dramatically different. It's like playing around with those to be able to get the right fit. So if you're starting to design, definitely look into Craft Yarn Council
Well,
standards.
I'm going to start copying. I don't know if it's actually designing, but it's definitely got to copy it. So
Amazing. Now you also have something really fun happening besides your book, and that's I want to call it your seasons. Is that the right thing? Your knit along, your seasonal knit along?
Yeah, I started in August. I started a thing called a Knititude Knitwork. It's essentially an online
Knitwork.
community. I this mainly comes from my knit night. It took me a long time to be able to get a weekly knit night here in Calgary. It took me almost 2 years to be able to create one that was
Wow.
constantly like every single week. That was back in 2015. So my knit night has been going every single Thursday, with exception to a few that landed on Christmas, and then we moved virtually when we ended up going for COVID. But I feel like I've learned so much from my knit night, from the women that come, and like I have learned the majority of all the things that I've learned through those people. And I essentially wanted to be able to create something like that worldwide. So I started the Knitwork, which essentially is a community that's online. It's through an app called Circle. And essentially we do a knit along every single season. Seasons are 3 months, because to me, I think if you're going to finish an entire knit along, it's going to be over a month. So we have seasons, which are 3 months. We do a knit along. We do a book club, both fiction and nonfiction. For season 3, we are doing, for nonfiction, we're doing The Power of Knitting by Loretta Napoleoni, which is amazing. She's actually going to come in and she's going to do a full on like event with us, with the Knitwork. If you've never read her book, it's essentially how knitting has played a role in politics over the last like couple hundred years. It's brilliant. It is so good. But yeah, then we do a book club. And then I do like exclusive tutorials and techniques for every single knit along that we end up going through. We do 2 Stitch and Bitches a month. I have a special guest. This one will be Alexi from Two of Wands. I love her. And then I do live streams. There is so much in
so much. Holy cow. Have you had positive response to it?
Yeah. So my network right now is sitting at 200, I think 32 members at the moment.
Nice.
It's wonderful. And over like 90 of them are like annual. So they're around for 4 seasons in a row.
Wow.
But
that's so great.
It's just like, I don't know, the world is bloody heavy right now, and it's like the first place that I go to. I don't go onto Instagram, I don't go onto Facebook. I go and I scroll like what's happening in the Knitwork first, because it's warm and inviting and
safe and welcoming.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like an incredibly lot of content for not a very much money. So well done.
Yeah, it's $50 for a season, which comes out to like $16 a month. But yeah, we did our wrap up numbers, and there's over 195 posts that happened in the last season, and over like I think like 110 of them were other people. The other 85 of them were me, whether that was like me doing videos or prompts or like asking what weekly wins are. Like it's a lot of stuff.
It sounds to me, what just popped into my head is that your marketing background is definitely in your favor with this kind of thing. especially with the cute names of season and knitwork and weekly wins and those kinds of things. It's so positive.
Yeah. Do you have now? Have you built a team around you, or still it's just you and Todd?
Yeah, so we have two admins. One of them is T. She's wonderful. She's actually an army veteran from the States. She fell on the ice last week and she sprained her ankle, but she's wonderful. She's so wonderful, very, very spirited. And then we also have Kristen, and she actually just opened up a yarn store in Erie, I think it's Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And she's wonderful. So
Way to
they
go,
have both
Kristen.
been so wonderful.
That's great.
Yeah.
You've got a team. Oh my God, you're so
I know.
successful. You're big.
I know. And we've only had like one issue talking about politics right now, which we figured out. But yeah, it was like the one thing where all three of us came together and we're like, how do we fucking deal with this? We're like, no,
politics. Hate them. Hate politics.
Yeah, we try and avoid it. In with the four of us, we try and avoid it. I think we're pretty evenly divided.
So
total opposite.
Oh, you can have all of it. My husband adores politics, so he and Aaron love to talk about that stuff. But
well, then yeah, and yeah, the husbands all get along, and yeah, Lance and Matt especially, they like to get together and gab.
I'm always of the thing of, and this is like pretty funny being that I never talked about politics on my feed until I think 2019. Yeah, 2019. And I'm always like a firm believer of like, if you don't do politics, politics do you.
All right, well, I'm getting it up the ass because I don't do politics. I have
Come on my side. I'll tell you all the things.
Oh, there you go. My husband tells me all the things, and I paste the smile on and pretend I care. Sorry, honey. We are pretty new to all of this. We think we've been knitting together for a year, but podcasting for 6-8 months now. And I obsess about our Instagram numbers, and you have significantly more than us. So my question is, like, how patient do I need to be? How quickly does that grow? And or do you care about how many followers you have on social media?
Oh yeah, they're vanity numbers, but they are numbers, and they are numbers that I look at. I think that like when I first started on Instagram, it was very different of how to be able to get followers.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think it can dramatically change. Like you can have a viral reel and anyone can go viral, and it could be off of a post that you never even planned on like having it be seen by anyone. And then that becomes your cherry pie is the easiest way to put it. Whoever wrote she's my cherry pie. You know that song?
Yes.
We're old. Yep.
Good job. You sang it well.
The guy that like wrote it technically wrote an entire album, and then they were like, none of these songs are like a top like hit of it. Can you write one more? And he wrote Cherry Pie, which he hated. And it turned out to be the thing that he got known for, and he hates it. But I'm just saying that like you never know if you're going to post something and that's going to be like, you're going to be like, I hate knitting cow blankets, and then all of a sudden you're like, it takes off, and then all you're known is cow blankets. Like, or sweater scarves in my
sweater scarves.
In my stance.
It becomes your brand. Like, you use that word brand, and it's like Gigi. Do you know who Gigi is? I presume you know who Gigi is.
Orange lady.
The orange lady. See, she doesn't know. Gigi knits in nothing but orange, and she's beautiful, and orange looks perfect on her, and it's just the coolest thing. But that's become her brand. And what if she hates orange? You know?
Oh yeah, no. Gigi is wonderful. Gigi also gives the best hugs.
Does she? You've met her in person and hugged her.
She like wraps you up in that Southern comfort. She's just
she's going through a battle right now, so all the love to Gigi. She has breast cancer, and she's very public with it. Very public. Yeah, it's an amazing thing.
Well, I just like, it strikes me, and I just really appreciate how our values seem really aligned. We started meeting, and I would talk to like my clients and be like, well, you need to develop a knit club, and they're like, I don't want to knit. I'm like, you need 3 other ladies or 3 other guys or 3 other people to meet with regularly, so that you have the time together, you have the common interests, you have the support, and so everybody kept saying, oh, I wish I had what you had. I wish. So we started podcasting, like listen to the ridiculousness of it. It doesn't have to be deep.
We just had our first knit meeting too at a place called the Waddling Dog.
Yeah, we decided the Spinnacle, who's out in Langford, they're starting the
Yarn
Yarn
Cafe.
Cafe. So they have one out in Langford, but it takes 45 minutes to get there at that time with traffic, which is a lot for the island. And to go downtown for the Beehives knit night, there's parking issues, and it's still,
So we started our own.
And it's only once a month, and it's so much fun, but it's only once a month. So we decided, well, because Victoria's kind of at the bottom of a V, we went up the peninsula a little bit to start our own, and we had a blast. So we love we love
it was good fun.
Community and how you're using what you're good at with the online stuff. And so we're gonna keep.
Wait, does that mean do you still get to see Russet Potato if it's in a cafe now and they have?
I don't see why not. Yeah, that's her little.
She's a wiener dog, and he's so handsome.
I've never met him. He's the few times I've been in her store, I've never met him.
Oh my God.
He came to the Cowichan Fiber Festival.
Okay.
But he was wrapped all up in blankets and stuff.
We only have 4 more minutes now to get you out if you're on time. So is there anything we haven't asked you about that you would love to tell us and tell us all about? Have you listened to the podcast yet?
Yeah, it's so good. You guys are so funny. Like
shameless fishing going on.
I love it. You guys interact so well together, and like when you just call each other out, big fan. Like you guys are just so much fun to watch and like to listen.
These guys are such great.
I guess not watch because I've only listened.
Yeah, we're not quite ready to all of us be on screen, so that's cool. And right now, my husband does all of the editing and stuff, so he's like, "Can you just make it easy for me, please?"
We might progress. That's the dream. We could all quit our jobs and be rich.
Team one day.
There you go.
But
well, I'm super excited for your network, and I did go and buy a copy of your book that you'd signed and left in Bolin Books because I'm fangirling over here. So thank you. I'm so grateful you chatted with us, and you make it so easy. And I think that who you are as a person, comfortable, easy, honest, with a little swearing thrown in, is exactly what your book portrays. Also, is just, this is good. You can do this. Here it is. Here's the recipe.
Yeah.
So if you have anything you want to get out to the world, we have like 12 people that listen.
Maybe.
No, like other than my patterns, like if you're looking for like a really beginner friendly or mindless, I always put them as beginner friendly because that's what I tailor a lot of my patterns towards, being like your first garment. But I find that all my patterns are like really mindless and just like chill to be able to watch in front of the TV. All of my patterns are available on Ravelry as well as Etsy. Don't go to Etsy, go to my website, which is knitatude.ca. But other than that, that's my main shtick. Like I want to hang out. Come say hi on Instagram. I'm there
out
all the
Knitwork.
time.
It's brilliant.
We
for the Knitwork. My Knitwork only opens 4 times a year. So right now it's open from February 1st to 7th for season 3, and then it opens again in May for the next cohort.
It's definitely worth checking out. It's a lot of fun, than what I've seen anyway.
Yeah. Although I can hear Ingrid going, "It's too much. I'll be overwhelmed."
I'm not prepared.
It's a good crew. Like getting into the Circle app is definitely where you're like, this is a lot of things going on, but you get into the groove of like, you're going to see a post on Wednesday, you're going to see a post on Friday, you're going to see me live stream on Friday, and then you're going to see a post on Sunday. And then everything else is anyone else just chit chatting back and forth. Nice. And then I do my events usually on Sundays.
Right. So you keep it flowing.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Amazing, Chantal. Thank you so
much
for your time.
You can just hang out.
Grateful.
You can find out if it's overwhelming for you by trying.
Yeah, totally.
You know what? Probably Jody and I will. I'm always in for stuff like that. And so we'll probably see you there one season. And until then, we're so glad that you joined us this week. A special thanks to Tech Whiz Matt and our sponsors, Chrysalis Counseling and Ingrid Stenerson, RMT. Please subscribe where you listen, like and follow and comment and connect with us on Instagram and Facebook and
follow
else.
Chantal.
And we'll be at the Waddling Dog. Yeah, we'll be at the Waddling Dog every first Sunday of the month from 3 till 6.
Thanks, Chantal.
Thanks, Chantal.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much.
We'll do it again.